Anybody else here for the first time?
Rolanda,
Yeah.
Nick,
Tierra.
Tierra. Hi, Tierra.
Shonda's our MC, Gordon.
I don't see her.
Correct? I don't see her.
She's on.
I am
729. There
here.
she
I am
is.
She's
here.
on.
Hello, Shonda.
I'm sorry, I was having camera issues, but I am here.
Well, good to see you. You're looking excellent.
Thank you. Very nice to see you all as well. All right, so we ready to get started, huh?
Let's
One
go.
more minute?
It's
Yeah, one more
7:29.
minute.
Let's give it a minute.
Okay, we'll give people a minute.
Matt, you are the co-host. So if you can, Gordon, I got you and Shonda as co-host. Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
I got somebody that says she's on, but I don't see her, so I'm trying to figure it out.
And Rolanda, it's your first night as well. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, nice. Well, nice meeting you. Anybody else for the first time?
We have Michaela on. She's a guest of David's.
Michaela? Okay, Shonda, I think it's time to get rolling. It is 7:30. You're muted.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our business overview. And you are in for a treat. Tonight, you get to hear from, when I talk about, you know how when you hear people talk about something, it's a difference between them talking about it from theory and them actually doing it. Well, tonight you really get to hear from some people who have experience and results in the finance industry. The first speaker that's coming up is going to be Christian David. I mean, and he'll tell more of his story, but, started out as a waiter, heard financial concepts that he had never heard of before and thought, why not me? Like, why not I learn this information? Why not I implement it? Why not my family? And over the course of the last 30, 40 years, he actually has averaged over $500,000 a year in income. And right now he makes right at $1 million a year. And so you're going to hear from some great people this evening. And so he's going to go first. And then I have the pleasure of welcoming up one of our other brokers in our industry who actually is going to share with you what we do for clients. I mean, because what we do is so important. Are people stressed out about money? Yeah,
Yeah.
pacing the floor, trying to figure it all out, overwhelmed with debt, living paycheck to paycheck. There's no shortage of financial problems. The question is, how do they solve them? Right? And so that's what we are in business to do. So I'm going to turn it over to the amazing and awesome Christian David to open us up this evening.
Thank you, Shonda. Appreciate that. If I can make a request, by the way, is anybody here serious about their future?
Yes,
like it to be better? Like it to be better?
Yes.
Well, then turn your camera on. Can I say that, Hector?
Say louder, coach.
Turn your camera on.
You just did.
You're live. Bring something to the environment. Okay. We got some great things happening. We have some great news, great information. And if you're not going to put your camera on, go do something else. Can I say that?
You just did.
Okay, thank you. I mean, if you're not going to have your camera on, how easy is it to be distracted today, ladies and gentlemen?
Extremely.
And if your camera's not on, you could miss the one thing you need to hear. Do you think that's possible?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is.
It is possible. You can be messing around, and I have heard things in this business on Zoom meetings, at big events, at seminars, at small meetings that I had never heard before, and they changed my thinking. And when you change your thinking, you can change your behavior. And when you change your behavior, what changes then?
Everything,
Your results?
Your results.
Mm.
And I'm assuming everybody would like better results, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so is it too much just to request for you to, Hector? You've made millions. I never see you with your camera off. You always have your camera on. Gordon, you're always with your camera on, right? Does it make a difference? Matt, you got your camera on, right?
It makes a difference,
All
yes.
right, I'll get off of that. Okay, anyway, good evening, everybody. My name is Christian David. If that did not apply to you, just ignore that. I wasn't talking to you. Okay. 1985, I'm waiting tables at Hamburger Hamlet, making $1,000 a month. I was a college dropout. My resume said construction laborer, retail clerk, waiter, Hamburger Hamlet, $1,000 a month, barely made it out of high school. Anybody ever had any money problems?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm basically broke. I'm 23, no resume, no degree. I'm in a dead-end job. I go to a bar one night. I meet a girl. She tells me about this guy she knows, Bruce, who has a financial company in Silver Spring, Maryland. She tells me he's looking to grow his company, looking for people part-time and full-time. And she asked me if I was open to a better job, a better career. What do you think I said?
Absolutely.
Yes.
What do you think I said, everybody?
Yes, please.
I said, yes, I'm ready. Okay. I was at a point in my life where I was tired of struggling. I was tired of worrying. I was tired of not knowing what I wanted to do. I was tired of being underpaid. I was tired of having a boss. I was tired of having no opportunity, nothing to really look forward to in the job. Anybody ever wait tables or work construction or work at the mall?
Yep.
Not a lot to look forward to, true or false?
No, the weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she asked me if I was open, and I said, yes, I'm very open. So I went and met this guy, and he started talking to me about the financial industry, investments, how to make, save, and accumulate money, how to have $1 million one day. What do you think I thought about that? Which I knew nothing about, by the way.
Amazed.
Yeah.
You thought it was
It's like, wow, if this is true, this sounds fantastic. And he told me that the definition of a business is to find a need and fill it.
Hmm.
And I just want to start out by sharing the 5 reasons people get involved in our business. They dislike their job, looking for something better. They want to make more money. They might like their job, but they want something better. Some people want a financial education. Some people want to help people. Other people want to have their own business. Can you see why people are getting involved in our business en masse?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, A.G. Gaston said, find a need and fill it. Successful businesses are founded upon the needs of business. If you'd like to grow your income, do better financially, one of the best ways to do it is to go into business. So the first question is there a need financially? Let's go over some statistics and you tell me, okay? 95% of the workers say they're living or say their paychecks fail to keep up with the cost of living. Well, I wonder why that is. Well, if you look at the year 2000, a car was 22,000, a house was 166,000, and an income was 32,000. Now a car is 47,000, a house is over 400,000, and the incomes, so a car has more than doubled in price. Homes have almost tripled, not too far from triple. And the incomes, they haven't even doubled. The incomes have hardly grown at all. So what kind of problem, if this is the facts, and this is the facts, this is the reality, what problems does this cause for people?
Big problems.
Debt.
Well, how about this? Okay, look at this. Credit card debt is at all-time high. All-time high. It's never been higher, credit card debt. People are paying for food with their credit cards. Look at the interest rates. This is 2025 average interest rates early this year. Overall, 28%. If you're in debt, paying 25, 28, 22, 28%, 26%, which way you going, forward or backwards financially?
Way back.
Now, banks are charging these high interest rates. What's that causing? They're making records amount of money, billions and billions of dollars of profits on us being in debt. True or false? How do you feel about that?
Terrible.
Not good.
Okay.
Life insurance market is huge. Huge. I never thought about being in the insurance business ever. But the business is huge. The market, the need is great. Why? Well, look at this. Number one, how many out of 100 people die?
Uh-huh.
Every one of them.
100.
100. Everybody eventually dies. And look at this. More than 100 million Americans are either underinsured or uninsured.
Hmm.
100 million people don't have any insurance and they're all going to die. Now, when you die, we're all going to die. How do you want to leave your family? If you've got kids, family, dependents, how do you want to leave them? Really well off or homeless?
Really well off.
Wow.
That's what makes life insurance a necessity. Now, the people who have it, most of them are getting ripped off by their life insurance agent and company. The number one product being sold today is indexed universal life. We're going to get an example of a little bit about this a little later on. But everybody needs insurance. They know that. And many people, unfortunately, don't have it or don't have enough or are getting ripped off by their company. Insurance companies are making, or profits are soaring. The premiums are soaring. The profits are being raked in by insurance companies. And what do you think about this? The rich are getting richer. This is the top 0.1% of the population. That's not 1%. That's the 0.1%. They have 13% of all the money.
Hmm.
Look at this one. $1 trillion of wealth, Wall Street Journal, $1 trillion of wealth was created for the 19 richest U.S. 19 families made $1 trillion last year.
Dang.
Wow. Okay. And we couldn't be in a better time. If you like the idea of investing, having your money grow, compound, if the idea of learning that business, learning how to invest, and then helping other people how to invest, this is the opportunity of a lifetime, because over the next 25 years, $124 trillion is going to change hands. Do you know how much money $124 trillion is?
Plenty.
It's a mind-boggling number, I'm telling you. That is big opportunity for those people. So find the need and fill it. Successful businesses are founded on the needs of people. Question: do people have financial needs? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The purpose of our business is to help people become financially independent. I did not know what that was. What is financial independence? How would you define it? Oh, hey, Nick, how would you define financial independence? You there?
Guys, Gordon
Yes.
Marge here.
Gordon.
Yeah.
Okay. Nick, how would you define financial independence?
When you move out of your parents' house.
That's what I thought. Okay. That's not quite our definition. Want to try it again, or want me to just share with you the definition of real financial independence?
Share with me the real definition.
Okay.
Please.
Real definition is financial independence occurs the moment your passive income exceeds your living expenses. What is passive income, Nick?
I would assume money that you get from like stocks or something.
Okay. Passive income is all the money you make without working or when you're not working. Active income is all the money you make when you're working. So I met a man 40 years ago who was in the business of teaching people how to make enough money without working so they could become financially independent. Does that sound like something? Let me ask you this. Out of 100 people, how many people would like to become financially independent?
All 100.
That's what the financial education and the financial planning and the investment business, the business we are in, is all about, helping people achieve financial freedom. Okay, now, why are so many people failing? Well, we found at the school I taught, there was not a class called Money 101, Investing 101, Insurance 101, Mortgages 101. Nick, you just got out of high school, right? Or you're in?
Yes, I just got out of high school.
Okay, what did you learn about investments in high school?
Barely anything.
Insurance and mortgages.
No.
A lot or a little or nothing?
What do you mean? Is it
What did you learn
Matter
about
what?
insurance and mortgages in school, high school, Nick?
I didn't learn anything.
Nothing. Okay. What about investing and becoming a millionaire? Was there a class called How to Become a Millionaire 101?
No, sir.
If it was offered, would you have signed up for that class?
Yes.
Okay. So number one, most people are not taught how to win the money game. They don't have a financial plan and they don't have a financial coach. Question: if a person had a financial coach, a financial education, and a financial plan, would that help?
Yes.
That's what we provide. Okay. Now, the great opportunity in our business is the timing. Now, McDonald's was one restaurant at one time, owned by the McDonald's brothers, who had a very small vision. They only wanted one store. A guy by the name of Ray Kroc was selling milkshake machines, and the McDonald's brothers bought a lot of milkshake machines from Ray, who was selling milkshake machines. Ray delivered the milkshake machines, and what he saw in this McDonald's restaurant blew his mind. He said, "Oh my gosh, one of these restaurants need to be in every village, every town, every city, every state across the country. These things need to go international." So after when Ray Kroc saw his first McDonald's in his hotel room, this book changed my life, by the way. Visions of McDonald's restaurants dotted the crossroads all over the country, paraded through his brain. And in each store, of course, were 8 multi-mixers whirring away and paddling a steady flow of cash in his pockets. The thing that made Ray Kroc wealthy, a billionaire, was what?
Plan of action.
What else?
An idea.
What else?
Distribution.
A vision. A vision of what?
Distribution.
A big business. McDonald's now, I think, has close to 40,000 restaurants.
And all he wanted was 8.
That would not, how much, what's that?
All he wanted was 8.
Well, he wanted 8. He wanted 8 multi-mixers in every restaurant, Matt.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what do? I don't have time to get into every element of a healthy financial plan, but inside this house is every part of having a healthy financial plan. That has to do with the right amount of life insurance, having a budget, not wasting money, having a will and an estate plan, getting credit card debt free, having an emergency fund. It's been said you're either coming out of an emergency, in an emergency, or headed to an emergency. Or you want to have enough to retire so you don't have to work until you die, get a house, pay it off, have enough retirement income that you don't outlive your savings. And then you want to leave an inheritance to your children. And in that way, if you leave an inheritance to your kids and give them the financial education and plan, and then they do that for their kids, in that way, your family can be changed generationally from a financial point of view. Does that sound like a good idea? People would want to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is what we help people with. Do you think these things should be taught in school?
Yes.
Yes.
Because they're not, what does that do for us in the financial industry?
Keeps us in
business.
It
Keeps us customers.
Yes, it creates a great opportunity in the financial industry because the need and the lack of education is so great. Now, the most powerful rule in finance is something called the Rule of 72. And this is where there are 3 keys to wealth creation. Nick, how many keys are there to wealth creation? That would be 3. You're muted unless you're talking. There are 3 keys to wealth creation, Nick. What are the 3 keys? Or how many keys are there? You still there, Nick?
I know there's 2 Nicks, so.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Well, Nick, Lillian's Nick.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know. You said how many?
3 keys. How many keys, Nick? 3.
I'm not sure. 3, yeah.
There's 3 keys, Nick. How many keys, Nick?
3.
3. Got it. All right. Fantastic. What are the 3? Here they are. Time, how much time you have to invest. Money, how much money you invest. And then where you invest it. What rate do you return? So if a person put $10,000 at 3%, that would go to $40,000 in 48 years. If they double the interest rate, that would grow to $160,000. If they double it again to 12%, same time, 48 years. Same amount of money, $10,000. But if by earning 12%, it would be $2.5 million. Now, would you rather have $40,000 or $2.5 million?
2.5 million.
Now, what do?
help me get there.
We show people how to get a higher rate of return on their investments. Anything wrong with that?
No, not at all.
There's trillions of dollars sitting at 1%, 2%, and 3%. And we want to show people how to move that money so it's doubling faster, so it grows into millions instead of pennies. Okay, now, if people are paying 28% on their debt or 18% on their credit cards, this works the same way. But most people are paying the interest, not earning it. So we want to show people how to get out of debt, save money, invest it properly so they can have enough money working for them one day that they don't have to work for money. How does that sound on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being fantastic?
10 is fantastic.
There you go. Okay, now, did you learn this? Do people learn this in school, this rule?
No, I've never heard of it before.
Do banks want you to know this rule?
Probably not, no.
Probably not. Exactly right. Why not?
Because they want the money for themselves.
That's right. This is how they make their money, by using this rule against us. We want to teach people the rule so people can get the money working, the rule working for them and not against them. Okay, now, without sharing this with friends and families, if schools don't teach it, if most people don't have a financial coach or planner, how are they going to find out if somebody doesn't share it with them?
They can't.
They're not, and that's the problem. Now, how do you get a good rate of return? There are mutual funds that for over 100 years have averaged 10, 11, and 12%. Over 80 years, 12%. What's a mutual fund? A mutual fund is a mutually funded pool of money that is managed by professionals, and these professional money managers diversify that pool of money that is mutually funded by many investors in a wide variety of stocks and bonds or bonds. And they invest in companies like Apple and Google and Coca-Cola and McDonald's and FedEx and Uber and Amazon, etc. Now, how much money do you think Starbucks and all these companies have made?
Billions.
Yes, a lot. Guess where those proportion of those profits are returned to?
The banks or the mutual fund?
No, back to the investors. Okay. In a mutual fund, you make money three ways: dividends, which are sharing in the profits of a company; capital gains, they're looking to buy the shares of stock low and sell them high. That's called capital gains. And then capital appreciation. As your house grows in value, that's capital appreciation. As a company grows in value, that's capital appreciation. So if a mutual fund owns 50 companies or 100 companies, as those companies grow in value, that raises the value of that particular mutual fund. Now, these are three ways to earn money without working. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
The stock market, a lot of people believe is risky, but since 1928, it's averaged 10% a year. It goes up and down every year, but the average rate of return has been over 10%. So it has the track record and the people who have invested in it historically have built much wealth. Now, if a 25-year-old starts saving $200 a month, $50 a week, by the way, how many 25-year-olds invest or waste $50 a week?
All of them.
A lot, right? If they put it in the bank, $200 a month goes to $200,000 at 6%, $450,000 at 12%, $3 million. Now, how many people can become totally financially independent if they do what?
Invest it properly.
Start early enough, Ellis. This is when you start in your 20s. It's not the same thing if you start in your 40s. This is when I was 23 years old when I met Bruce. I said, if this is true, there's no way. I knew I was going to be a millionaire. Why?
Time.
And why?
Because you knew you were going to do this. It was possible.
Yeah, because I knew I could save $50 a week. Anybody can do that.
Yep.
You didn't have to be rich. I thought before I met Bruce, I thought in order to have a lot of money, you had to have a lot of money, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, we show people how to get out of debt. And we're going to share a real live example. Gordon, you're going to do debt and a buy term and invest the difference in mutual funds, right?
Sure.
Okay. So that's what you're doing, right?
Yeah, I thought I was doing it after the house, but I'm good. Whenever.
Oh, okay. You're doing it after this. I'm about done. Nick,
Yes.
people are in debt, right?
Yes.
And they don't have a plan. So what if this person had 6 debts and they were paying $2,700 a month? The
Mhm.
strategy is to, number one, pay off this first credit card and you free up this $220, add it to this payment here. Now you have more money going to the next debt. And then you pay off that one and you add that to the next payment. So now you have more money going to the next debt. Follow
Mhm.
that system. And in the original plan, they were going to be out of debt in 23 years and pay a bunch of interest today and get out of debt at 58. Following the debt stacking plan, which most people are not following, they don't even know about it, they would be out of debt at age 44 and save $130,000 in interest. And then they could invest the $2,700 starting at age 44.
Uh-huh.
And then at age 67, they would have an extra $2.4 million.
Okay.
And Nick,
Yeah.
you know what they say at age 67?
Wow.
No. What did they say?
They say every $2.4 million helps. This plan is called, you're in debt, let's get a strategy. Let's apply debt stacking. Let's get out of debt younger. Then let's invest that money. Then let's accumulate a bunch of money and become financially independent. Okay. So life insurance, what's that about? Life insurance, these two people were working, making $3,500 a month. Everything's fine because the bills was $7,000. They were making $7,000. Husband dies. Wife's income is now $3,500. What are the bills? Still $7,000. What would happen to this family? Breadwinner dies, income cut in half, but the bills are the same. What happens to this family?
You're in debt.
That makes life insurance a necessity. In life insurance, there's 2 options. Option cash value, universal life, or buy term and invest the difference. Check this out. This family was paying $450 a month. And if John or Mary died, they were each going to get $200,000. And they were going to have $153,000 at retirement for $450 a month. If they bought term insurance, they could get $800,000 on John,
What?
$400,000 on Mary for $189 a month.
So how did they do that?
That's $261 less a month. Then they could put that in a mutual fund, in an IRA, and have $447,000 at retirement. So what's the advantage? It's the same price per month, but in this plan, you get more if you die and more if you live. And you're going to do one or the other. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So Nick, would you want this plan over here, the cash value, or the buy term and invest the difference?
I want the one on the right
And why do you want the one on the right?
because I won't be in debt.
There you go.
Yeah.
More if you die and more if you live. Okay, so 3 times the death benefit, 3 times the money at 65 for the exact same money. If you showed this to 10 people, which would they choose?
The right, 10 out of 10 times.
Exactly. If you earned $300 or $500 or $1,000 every time you showed somebody how to go from the left to the right, how often would you want to do it?
Every time, sir.
Exactly right. Gordon,
Yes, sir.
you had a real life example about how to help people, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Please share how you have helped a family taking these ideas but incorporating them in a family's life.
Yeah, I'm going to show you a summary page. Then I'm going to jump back over and show you how we help them pay off their debt. The summary page is going to cover the coverage that we got for them, but whoops, move that over a little bit so I can see it on my screen and then zoom in. So the couple, I made a couple things. First, areas of concern. They had no protection outside of work. Everything was at the job. They got multiple kids. That was number one. Number two, no emergency fund. Pretty typical. People haven't set up an emergency fund where they're earning 3 or 4% interest. They're saving at the bank. 28%, almost a third of their money was going to their debt. So 28 cents on every dollar going to service debt. Think about that for a minute. And they had no will or living will. That just means when they die, it's a mess. The state of Virginia or the state of Maryland, whatever state they live in, has a plan, but that plan doesn't cover all the wishes that they would want to be covered. And everything's public and it goes through probate when they die. Positive things, with our debt stacking strategy, which I'll show you in a minute, they could free up $250 a month and they'll pay all their debts off in 10 years. They were participating in some work retirement accounts. They were getting matches. They had a net worth of 180,000. Problem was their FIN number was 3.5 million. And we found $257 in their debt stacking. So check this out. So I'm looking at their debts. I get a list of everything. And this is real. So these are all their debts: Apple, Chase, Kia Sportage, PayPal, Amazon, Navy Federal, Jeep, Capital One. So all these are their debts. That's $418,000 in debt. And then you start adding all the interest rates in. The mortgage was the biggest one, so that brought down the average interest rate. But look at these. Some of these, 28%, 26%, 15% for a car, 34% for PayPal. So these are the interest rates. Capital One, almost 30%. That's their minimum payment, $4,000 a month. They thought they were doing the right thing by adding extra payments all across the board. That was an extra $500. But look at their debt freedom date, 2051. This is 2025. That's 26 years from now. They're going to be out of debt. 26 years. So I don't know about you, but that's a long time to be paying $4,500 a month. So what I did was I looked at
how old were they going to be then?
Well, in 26 years, I think they were both like 40. So they would be like 66 to 70 years of age.
Okay.
With our debt stacking strategy, check this out. They're on, 70 and 65. That's in the FNA, 70 and 65. I showed them with less money over here on the far right at 53 and 49, they can pay everything off in basically 10 years. 16 years, 4 months sooner, saving them almost $100,000 in interest with less money. And all we did was show them debt stacking. It was less money, debt stacking. This is what they ended up going with. This one, $250, freed up money. And each one that when they paid off one, they celebrated and then they stacked it on top of the next one. And they didn't accumulate more debt because I had a plan put in place. I've showed them how to implement a plan where they're going to pay off their debts. They're going to get rid of all this crap in 10 years. They're going to get some life insurance. They had none outside of work. In the event of death, they're a catastrophe. So we got them $1 million in coverage for about $200 a month in term life insurance. We got an emergency fund set up where they're earning 3.8% interest rate now. They were starting small with that. We got them adjusted where they were putting more money in a Roth IRA. They had no Roth IRAs. They were going to put more in their emergency fund as they freed up money, get their will and living will and advanced directive set up. And then we're going to call and check on their auto and homeowners insurance and explore other ways we could free up money. Bottom line, more money going to retirement, more money going to emergency funds, and then a plan in the event they die along the way.
That's awesome.
Rearranging money they're already spending.
Wow.
So
less money than they were spending.
Less than they were already spending.
Wow.
And we even found another opportunity along the way as we're working with them. They had been in a house for 5 years, so they could get rid of their PMI. Their PMI was $225 a month. So they're in the process of getting rid of that.
Wow.
So by just having somebody sit down with them, slow down a little bit, because they're all focused on a wedding in their house and kids running here and people going there and this and that. People are pulled multiple directions and rarely ever sit down and put a plan in place. And we don't charge. They got this plan complimentary. My 20 years of experience, that was another lady I was working with. And we'll work with them for the next 20 years and show them how to achieve all their goals and dreams. That's it.
Did you have a buy term and invest a difference example?
Not in this case. This was group life insurance.
Did you have, then could you tell your own example, Gordon, and why you got started in the business?
Buddy of mine sat down with me on a Saturday afternoon 25 years ago. He says, "What do you have for life insurance?" I said, "I got a policy from New York Life, the company you keep. They're great. My mom set me up." He said, "Oh yeah, well, let's see how great it is." I said, "Okay, $83. I got 100,000 in death benefit." I said, "That's pretty great, right?" He said, "No." And I said, "Well, what about you, Jen? What do you have?" And he said that. He said, "What do you have?" My wife, my fiance at the time. She said, "Well, I got the same daggum thing. My mom set me up with a policy with this other company called Thrivent, 50,000, $50." And we're like, "Yeah, we got life insurance." He says, "No, no, hold on a minute. One of you dies with 100,000 in death benefit and 50,000 in death benefit. How much is your mortgage?" I'm like, "It's 200,000. We got 200,000 in debt." He says, "What if you have kids? How are you going to raise kids if you left 100,000?" I said, "I guess they ain't right. My wife's going to have to get remarried." And she didn't like that idea because we were just in the process of getting married. I was like already shopping around for somebody else. I was like, "No." So he says, "Wait a second. You need to properly protect your family with at least 10 times what you make." And at the time I was making 80,000. She was making 50,000. So we ended up getting 800,000. I got 450. So it was 8 times more on me, 9 times more on my wife, and the money we spent was the exact same. We saved $7 actually. We went from $133 to $126 and got 8 and 9 times the coverage, Nick. So I wasn't a dum-dum. I was young, in my 30s at this point, but I was like, that makes sense. And so that got me started in the business, showing people how to get more protection for less money.
Shonda, thank you, Gordon.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Shonda, what is your background and what has your been experience in terms of financial education and dealing with clients and where you came from? What has been your experience here and you making that transition from teaching children reading, writing, and arithmetic to teaching adults money?
Well, I got involved in the industry because I had never learned anything about money. And it's interesting because I went to school to be a teacher. So I have a bachelor's in elementary education, a master's in special education. So I'm licensed to teach your kids, but yet and still, when I would go to the bank or when I went to go buy a house, I had no clue what I was doing. Right. So I got involved in the finance industry really for the education because I realized that if I continue to make financial decisions with the level of education that I had, that I would continue to make a ton of financial mistakes, right? So it was for the education. And once I got involved in the finance industry, it didn't take me long to realize that there were a lot of people that were just like I was. They went to school, they work hard, they love their families, but nobody ever taught them anything about money. And so we really get to do that for people. And so the transition from teaching kids to teaching adults, I still feel like I get to make an impact on kids. Because if I can impact the way that their parents think about money, the way their parents handle money. I mean, how important do parents' incomes affect their kids at all?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, does it affect what they eat, where they live, where they go to school, right? Not to mention how they start their adult life if they have money that's saved up for them versus going out on their own with nothing, right?
Yep.
Debt.
So
Well,
we get to make an impact and help people understand simple financial concepts that many of us were never taught, regardless of where you went to school, right? And how many degrees you have. If we're being honest, many of us, that skipped us over.
right.
Okay, so this is an opportunity to get that information and really make an impact, not just on your family, but on the generations to come.
Can I ask you one more question?
Absolutely.
As a mom, married family mom, and having a second grader?
Yes.
So you had the baby, raised nursery school, all that. Being able to stay home and work from home versus having to get up, get Milo ready and drop him off somewhere and then go to school? And then when would you have had to leave? When would you be back? What is the difference in lifestyle of being able to work from home, be your own boss versus being a school teacher in Baltimore?
Oh man, that's night and day. First of all, as a school teacher, I had to leave the house at like 7 o'clock in the morning. So that means that I probably would have had to do some sort of before care or something like that, that you take your kids to school for before they actually go to school because you have to go to work, right? And then if I'm in school teaching the same time he's at school learning, I cannot be present for anything. I am a chaperone at just about every field trip. Every field trip I get to go. I don't miss stuff. If they call me, I'm there. And that flexibility and freedom of him not even knowing what daycare is. Someone said they had to go to daycare. He said, "What's that?" Like,
Wow.
what's that? Because it has allowed me the opportunity to still be able to be a present mom, and still be able to, help people and make an impact and make income as well. So it's a huge difference. So if you're looking for an opportunity to be able to free up some time, to be able to raise your family, spend time with your children, but still be able to make an impact and make income, I could dare say this could potentially be a great opportunity for you.
It could be. And how many people would like to be able to make money from home and make their own schedule?
I
Man,
know I would. Yeah.
those people.
It's a lot of people, right? Okay. Let me share with you. Nick, how we doing, brother? Nicholas. Oh, how do you say your last name? Okore?
Okore.
Okore. Okay, Okore.
Yes.
How we doing? Just making any sense to you?
Yeah, I'm taking some notes right now.
Okay. Let me share with you. Now let's take off your financial coach or financial advisor or financial education hat, and let's talk about business, okay?
All right.
All right. What are we? We're a one-stop financial solution supermarket with home delivery. What is Amazon?
The same
Why have
thing.
they excelled, Amazon?
Because they distribute everything
And where does it come?
to your home.
To your home, and you don't have to go anywhere.
It's
You have
convenient.
one company, Amazon, that has agreements or partnerships or contracts with how many manufacturers?
Every single one.
That's right. Amazon is not a manufacturer.
Right.
Amazon is a
Distributor.
distributor. Now, as a distributor, how much money have they made?
Oh man.
Trillion.
I mean,
More than a
it's
little.
like, how has the guy who started it done? Jeff Bezos.
Oh man.
So if you want to grow your income, one of the things I would have you consider is to get into business and distribute something. Now, it doesn't have to be financial services, but if the subject of money interests you, you like helping people, and you'd like to help them with their money, and you'd like to make more money and know what to do with your money, it's a great business. Okay? So let me give you a picture. So what we are is a company we are a financial services distributor that allows you to build your own business. My company is incorporated in the state of Maryland, David and Associates Incorporated, and we distribute products that are manufactured by all of these companies in 9 different areas of financial services. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. We got companies that make mortgages, investments, insurances, legal services, home automation and security, car insurance, life insurance. And through one representative, one of our representatives can connect a client to all of these companies instead of having that client go to 10 different companies. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Amazon, you go to your app and you order, right? You go to one place and you can get what?
Anything.
And you want to.
Anything you want. You don't have to drive to this store on this side of town, go to another store on the other side of town, go north, east, west, and south to get what you want. Same thing here. This is completely unique. So who are our partners? Anybody ever heard of Fidelity?
Yes.
Yes.
Any credibility there?
Tons of.
Okay, they got trillions of dollars of money already invested with them. They are one of our investment partners. So if a person wanted an IRA, a retirement plan, a college fund, we have the opportunity to refer them to Fidelity, and Fidelity would invest their money. Anybody ever heard of Rocket Mortgage, which happens to be the #1 lender in the country? Anybody heard of them?
Yes.
So for those people wanting a house or refinance their home, where do we send them?
Rocket Mortgage.
And then they send us a fee for sending them business, sending them customers. Okay. The company that put all of this together is a AM Best and Better Business Bureau A+ rated company. And Newsweek said one of the greatest places to work in America. Not bad. Would you agree?
No.
Forbes, one of the best insurance companies. It's a Fortune 1000 company. Now, I don't know about you, but I had no idea what a Fortune 1000 company was. I mean, what is that? It sounds good, sounds impressive, but what is it? Well, it's one of the, if you're a Fortune 1000, you're in the top 1000 largest companies ranked in revenues. What is revenues? That's income. Okay. Now, how many companies are in America? Answer, 30 million about. Now, out of 30 million companies in America, if you're in the top 1,000, how successful are you?
Extremely.
Extremely. I mean, wildly successful. Okay. The name of that company is Primerica. Kane Anderson is an investment research company along with Vanguard, BlackRock. FMR stands for Fidelity Management and Research. All of these four companies almost have $1 billion each invested in this company's stock. Why would they do that? Why would these companies own 800 million, 900 million, almost $1 billion of the company stock? Why would they do that? Is that a fair question?
Yeah.
Is that a good question? Why would they do that? Okay. Well, the company went public in 2010 and the stock was $15 a share. Last week, it was $267 a share. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means if you had invested $20,000 in 2010, just 15 years ago,
285 today, Cap.
well, even better. Thank you. So it's moving on up.
Since
So,
last week.
there you go. That's pretty good week, right? If you own it. Okay. As of September 15th of this year, just last week, your $20,000 would have grown to $355,000. So these investment companies invest hundreds of millions of dollars in the company because the stock has performed so well. Now, have any of you ever had a job where you helped your company grow?
Yes.
Okay. Here we have an equity program that says if you help our company grow, we will give you stock. Since 2010, my wife and I have been awarded 13,970 shares.
Wow.
Valued at $267 a share. So as of last week, that's worth $3,729,000, which
You
is a
made
little
35
more
grand
week.
this week.
There you go. How much?
You made 35 grand this week.
Okay, so we'll take it.
I
So
imagine.
that's how you make money passively by owning equity in growing companies.
Wow.
Now, why are we growing? I hope I have demonstrated to you already the value, and Gordon has demonstrated the value, and Shonda has demonstrated the value of what we're trying to bring to people. Okay. All kinds of headlines. 6th consecutive year, Fortune 1000. All right. Hey, Nick, does that sound like a scheme? Nick?
You're muted.
Yes, sorry.
Does that sound like a scheme?
I know some people would say so.
I know people would say so, Nick. I'm asking you,
Yeah.
does that look and sound like a scheme once you know the facts?
Oh, no, it doesn't.
People say all kinds of things that they know nothing about what they're talking about. You know that, right?
All the time.
Okay.
Sure.
Bring them to Papa. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we can prove truth versus fiction, fact over opinion. Bring them to Papa, Nick. Okay.
All right.
Now, why should you consider, Nick, the financial industry? Well, it has more people making over 6 figures a year and a month than any other industry. As a matter of fact, Forbes said, what industry is most likely to make you a millionaire? The answer may surprise you, it's finance industry. Finance is responsible for creating more millionaires than any other industry in the United States. Now, Nick, why do you think the financial industry has created more millionaires than any other industry?
I think partly because most people don't know anything about finance, and then we help them. So we have a lot
That's
of
right.
business.
So that means you can make more money, right? You make the most money in the industry. And what else? There's another reason why people do best financially in the financial industry.
I'm not sure.
Because they have a financial education.
Okay.
If you make a lot of money, but you don't have a financial education, like a lot of professional athletes, what happened to these athletes?
They go bankrupt.
They go bankrupt. Why? They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You give someone who's financially illiterate a lot of money, they can get into a lot of trouble. True or false?
Very true.
But if you have, if a person who knows what they're doing has a lot of money, what can they do?
Make even more money.
There you go. Okay, exactly right. So our business is set up like real estate. All right, I'm about done. All right, Nick, this slide right here is how I have made close to $20 million. Okay? So if you're interested in doing that, tell me what you think about this idea. Well, our offices are set up like real estate. Our business is set up like the real estate model. Where in real estate, you have a brokerage fee. So if on a $400,000 house, $24,000 is the fee, and that is split typically 50-50 between the real estate agent and the real estate broker. So every time an agent lists and sells a $400,000 house, they would make 50% of the $24,000 or a $12,000 commission.
Okay.
And the broker earns an override. The agent is in sales and the broker is in sales management. Nick, do you know the difference between sales and sales management?
No, sir.
Okay. Sales, you do the actual work of working with the client, finding a house for them, showing them the house, driving them around, working weekends, and then you make the sale and you get a commission. That's not what the broker does. The broker recruits the agent, helps the agent get a license, trains the agent on how to sell the house, and when the agent gets a commission, the broker gets an override. They split the fee 50-50. The broker makes money off of the agent's sales or productivity. You with me?
And they have multiple agents, right?
A broker can have multiple agents. So if this broker has 5 agents making $12,000 a month, the broker is making $60,000 a month in overrides.
Yeah.
Without selling any houses, Nick.
Oh, because it's just off the the fee.
Correct.
Yeah.
They split the fee. The broker's job is finding agents. The agent's job is to find clients to buy houses.
Yeah.
You with me?
Yes, I am.
Now, the only way for the agent to make more money is to sell more houses.
Mm-hmm.
The way the broker makes more money is to know two ways. What are they?
To get more agents
Yes, and
and
more agents selling houses, the more money the agents make, the more money the brokers make, the more agents. And I just said it, I gave it away. Okay, here
I
it
didn't
is.
catch it.
Okay, check this out. Let's say you're my real estate broker and you recruit me and you get me licensed and you train me how to sell.
Okay.
You with me? Okay, you're my broker, I'm your agent. I make a sale, I make 12,000, you make 12,000. If I make another sale, I make another 12,000, you make another 12,000. If I make a lot of sales, if I make 10 sales, I make 120,000, you make 120,000 off of me. If I make 20 sales, I make 240,000, you make 240,000 off of me. How much money do you want me to make, Nick?
And you're the broker, right?
No, you're the broker, I'm your agent.
I want you to make less than me, or as much as possible.
Well, it's one or the other, Nick. Think about this. If I make a sale, I get paid, so do you. If I get paid again, you get paid again. The more money I make, the more money you make. How much money do you want me to make, Nick?
More money,
Correct. Why?
so I get more money.
Correct. And what do you call that? In Stephen Covey's book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, one of the chapters in that book is titled Think Win-Win. And it's a chapter where you should only have relationships that are mutually beneficial.
Okay.
Mutually beneficial relationships is what you should be involved in. If I win, you lose, no good. If you win, I lose, no good. But if we can both win together, that's the best types of relationship. Would you agree?
Yes.
All right. So let's say you're part-time. Here's how you get paid. Average term life transaction is $100 a month or $1,200 a year. If you're on a 25% contract, you get 25% of this $1,200, which is $300. Entry level trainer is 50%, $600 per transaction, and broker is 130% or $1,500. So let's say you have time to do 4 appointments a week. Let's say 3 out of the 4 say no. 3 out of the 4 say no, thank you, not interested. But 1 out of the 4 says yes. And you do 4 appointments a week. You make $600 a week. That's an extra $2,400 a month. What would you do with an extra $2,400 a month, Nick?
We invest it.
And what would happen to you if you invested that amount of money at the age you're at?
I would get a lot more by the time I'm 60.
Oh man, some magical things would happen to you. What is it? What's involved in getting started? College costs tens and 50, 100, 200,000. Start a business costs hundreds of thousands. Okay. To get a real estate license, thousands. To learn how to cut hair, to get a cosmetology hair cutting license, $15,000 for that license. Our business is a one-time fee of $99 tuition for your class. And $25 a month for your technology support and your online portal, your online website. So the investment is one time $99, $25 a month, and that gives you thousands of dollars of technology, website, software, etc. Okay, so the investment is minuscule. Okay, wrap it up in summary. Start part-time with no risk to your job, no risk to your income. There's no money to lose. $99 and $25 a month is not a lot of money. Would you agree? That's not a risky venture. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. Number 3, we work referrals. Why? Because we save people money. People love sharing with other people how to do better financially and save and accumulate money. You have an opportunity to become a business owner, and you also have an opportunity to build a big business if you have big dreams with full ownership.
Nice. Yeah.
I didn't know if I could do it. I thought worst case scenario, I'll get an education.
hmm
I was terrible in the business. I didn't make much money in the first few years. Sharif, you have any idea of why I didn't make any money in the beginning?
You weren't aware on how to.
I started going to the trainings and I became aware and I learned and I still didn't make any money. You have any idea why I still didn't make any money?
No, sir.
Because I was afraid to talk to people.
Okay.
I was shy. I grew up introverted. You know, in life, there's extroverts, people who can talk to anybody, outgoing, cracking jokes. I was the opposite. So this is a business that if you don't tell anybody about your business, you're not going to have any success, right?
Yeah.
But I kept going to the trainings. I kept going to the trainings. I kept going to the trainings. I built up my confidence. I got older. I got more outgoing as I got older and more confident. I got married in 1989 and went to work in 1990 and made 33,000, then 52,000, then 89,000, and then 200,000. And our average income for I've been married 36 years. Our average income is over 600,000 a year for my 36 years of marriage. No college, made no money in the beginning. I'm a shy introvert. I was terrible at the business. So what does that say?
Anybody can say that.
If I can, you can. Does anybody have any questions? And there are no dumb questions. Nick, do you have any questions? Or Sharif or anybody here for the first time?
I have a question on when you explained, we talk about mutual funds, and I need the definition for dividend and capital gain.
Dividends is sharing in the profits of a company. When a company pays profits out to a shareholder, they call it a dividend.
It pays profits out to a shareholder.
Yep. If you buy a stock at $10 and sell it for $20 a share, you've made a $10 capital gain.
Okay.
Anything else? Anybody have any questions? I want you to think about the next 3 years of your life. How important are the next 3 years?
Very important.
If you're in the same place you are financially 3 years from now, how will you feel about that?
That'd be terrible for me.
Now, if you don't change what you're doing, what is going to change?
Nothing. Or it gets worse.
Yeah. If you keep doing what you're doing, guess what you're going to keep getting?
The same results.
What you're getting. So I would suggest if you want the next 3 years, David, to be better, where does it begin, David?
Right now.
I know, but how does it begin, I should say?
Start talking to people. Get over my fears.
All right. Well, it starts with some goals, David. Where there is no vision, people perish. You need to have a vision, a goal, a picture that you get up and work to have a better future. You got to see it in your mind first, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You got to have some goals. Number 2, you need what?
A plan.
A plan. What kind of plan, David? A daily plan. Gordon, when you started your fitness journey, can you share the importance of goals, daily plan, following a plan, and what you've been able to accomplish this year physically?
Well, I think goals is kind of like reminds me of getting on a aircraft and flying somewhere. There's a destination that you need to get to, and then the pilots put it on autopilot, and it's always correcting. So that's the goal. Where do you want to end up? And then about the autocorrect, it's daily. You just got to keep focused on the goal. Otherwise, you forget about it. And it's like the difference between a laser beam and a light, fluorescent light. They're both lights. One can cut through the building. The other one can barely put off heat. So you got to have a focus and a goal. And then it's about course correcting along the way. And this last year, I've lost 50 pounds. and getting into some of the best shape I've ever been in my life.
He lost 50 pounds.
Congrats.
How great is that? Now, Gordon, do you have to work out to do that?
I have been. Yeah.
Did you have to change what you eat?
Yes, 100%.
Have you ever been tempted to eat what you're not supposed to eat?
100%. Yeah, you make mistakes.
Have you been tempted not to work out?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you do when you don't want to do it?
You get around the people doing it. You get in your community of people that do it, and you get your support. You talk to your coach, and you get off track, and you say, "Hey, coach, I made a mistake. Hey, coach, I'm feeling like goofing off. You know,
I'm feeling like sleeping in,
feeling like skipping the workouts," and the coach just reminds you, "What's your goal?" Yep.
Folks, anybody can do it. You're here for a reason. You're important. I mean, I think the hard part is I think the hard part for a lot of people is believing that great things can happen to you. You really need to believe in yourself, that you can do it. You have power, you have potential, and all you need is the right guidance, the right plan, and then wake up every day and fight the good fight and know it's not going to be easy, but keep in mind it's going to be what?
Worth it.
Worth it.
Amen.
You can struggle anywhere. You know, you can just get by if that's what you want, but that's not what you want. So you need to have an opportunity where you know that if you do what you're supposed to do, that you can win. And in all my jobs, no matter how good I got at that job, man, there was nothing going to change. It was going to be the same daggone paycheck. And I looked at them people 10 years there longer than me. And I said, man, if I don't get out of here, I'm going to be one of those people. And I don't want to be that. I've enjoyed sharing with you. If you're here for the first time and this sounds good to you, makes sense, you have questions, follow up with the person who invited you here. Tomorrow morning, we start our devotional at 8:45 and training at 9 a.m. Look forward to seeing everybody there. Have a great night, everybody.
Thanks, Cap. Good job, man.
You're welcome. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Coach, are you still meeting with Nick?
Yeah, but I've got to get in the car. I'm going to turn my Zoom on in the car. Give me 5 minutes, okay, Lillian?
Okay, and we log back
Okay.
in. Okay.
All right, Nick, I'll be talking to you in five or 10 minutes.
Should I leave this Zoom?
Yeah, the same Zoom. Okay.
All right.
Catch you later, everybody.
Catch you.
Okay, bye-bye. See you, Sharif.
Bye, Cap.